Hello and welcome to Advanced Exercise Physiology. My name is Mark Baines and I'll be your professor for this summer term course at Concordia University. It's an 11-week course, and although we won't have classroom time, we'll have interaction time. I will try to create videos each week along with guidelines each week for objectives that you should be looking to try to meet as far as your knowledge base, understanding, and not just that, but evaluating and analyzing the information. So I need to memorize things. The expectation in a master's level course is you're making extra added effort beyond someone in a bachelor's level course or someone who has not taken this course into analyzing and evaluating the information and actually making sure that's clear in your discussion board posts and the paper you write, and that of course will be expected of you when we take the exams. With a 4-unit course that expects 4 hours for class time each week, we're not clearly going to have in-class time, but if you add 4 hours of time spent on top of the expectation of 2 hours on top of that for every hour in class, that's a 12-hour expectation. I don't know that it's going to take you 12 hours each week, but at the same time, if you're not getting the outcome you want in terms of grade and getting the most out of the class and learning a lot and be able to add a lot to your coaching in the years to come, I think you're going to need to be putting in that kind of time. You don't have to. It's going to come back to you and what you want to do. You get out of it what you put into it. I don't ever want that to intimidate you, because it doesn't have to be 12 hours. Some people put in less. But if you want to get the most out of it, it's something to consider. Okay. That said, and when you log into Blackboard for the course itself, looking here at the announcements, you want to make sure you check out the announcements at least every couple days, 2-3 days. Don't expect to look at it once a week. That's not going to be enough. You're going to be behind on some things. I might be giving you feedback about what I'm seeing in discussion board posts, might be some other information to be looking at to help you with your understanding of the information, whether that be the information in the textbook or additional information that may help you in your coaching. That's the whole goal here, to apply exercise physiology to helping improve your coaching, improving your athletes and other people you seek to help through your coaching and through your teaching. Okay, so that's what we're going to look to do each week. If you have questions of me under instructor contact in Blackboard, you can find my basic bio, but my email and my phone number are there. Feel free to call me if you have questions. I'm more than happy to talk to you at any time that you need time to talk. As well, email me. I'll always email within 24 hours, and phone, always respond to you within that time frame too. I'll try to respond as quickly as I can. Beyond that, as far as course assignments, each week, each one of 11 weeks, of course, we're going to have at least a couple chapters to read, maybe 3. On the first week, it's 3 chapters, but usually it's 2 chapters, and then a couple and Learn Smart for every single one of those, which you'll access through McGraw-Hill Connect. And we'll get there in a second when we go to course syllabus here. And as you can see here on this particular, in the syllabus here, let me see if I can send this for you, make it a little easier on you, that with this course syllabus, you need to get the text, 4th page down here, where it shows the course code here, shows you exactly what course to get, which is actually the Advanced Exercise Physiology course textbook, 9th edition for Powers and Howley. You need to get the McGraw-Hill Connect access, because that's what's going to give you the access to the Learn Smarts. If you don't buy the online version, you won't be able to Learn Smarts, in which case you will not be able to get credit for 200 or 300 points every single week. That would not be good. It's your responsibility to get access to that, which when you pay for it, you get access immediately, okay, to be able to get online and complete your Learn Smarts by Wednesday of each week. By Sunday of each week. That's actually 1 week to be able to complete them each week. Okay, you can get the textbook as well, the actually live textbook, or the print textbook, which I highly recommend having both. That way you can access information whenever you need to. If your web goes down, you're trying to write out your post and you can't get online, but you're trying to create something in just on your computer without being able to access online to look at anything, having a textbook's really helpful. So I highly recommend it. Getting the physical textbook and access online. However, you only are required to get the online access. And that said, going through our syllabus here, when you scroll down, you can see in the course management, and talking about here, it translates to at least 8, 10 plus total hours weekly time expectation. Again, you don't have to, but at that same time, it's going to be the most helpful for you to do that. And you think about it, it's not unusual. Reading 2 or 3 chapters should take a couple hours to read, right? And then you're going to do the Learn Smarts, about 30 minutes per Learn Smart. That's about an hour, hour and a half with 2 or 3 Learn Smarts. That's 3.5 hours. A discussion board post, you're going to have to do some research for that, not just simply write out what you already know. You're expected to show that this is something beyond what you've been doing and showing how you're going to apply new concepts to what you currently do. Expect a good 2 or 3 hours or more on top of that. I think best case scenario, you're looking at probably 5-6 hours a week if you're really rolling, and more if need be. Okay. Maybe setting aside a full day might not be a bad idea on the weekend. Otherwise, just a little bit over the week in part is a way you can certainly do it as well. Something I suggest. It's up to you. It's your time. Then looking at the course outline, you can see the rough breakdown for each chapter over each of these 11 weeks, and it breaks down what we're basically covering. If we have any changes upcoming in any of this content, I will email you, or I'm sorry, we'll put in the announcements. Specifically those changes. You'll see that at least a week in advance before we get to the week. If we get to a week and I had some intention of a change, I'm not going to change it on you. It's always going to be something in advance. So I'll warn you so it looks different than it may look in the syllabus, but it won't be something that affects your current week. I promise you that. Then you can scroll below that and you can see the grades, roughly speaking, percentage-wise. 7,000 total points for the entire course, 200 for basically every discussion board post, 100 for every Learn Smart. The first 2 exams are 400 points. The third exam is 1,000 points. That's all broken down here in a moment. But you can break that down and figure out what you're going to need to get if your goal is to get an A. I hope your goal is to get as much as you can out of the course. I think if you provide the effort, I don't think an A is going to be a big deal for you. I think it'll be a walk in the park, but you've got to put in the time and the effort. And it shows. I've taught enough coursework to know when someone's putting in the effort. Just like I think you know when you're putting in the time and effort, it feels a lot different. You get a lot better product. Okay. Scrolling down to discussion board posts, you can actually see specifically what you'll have to do in each level to get a 200 out of 200 for the discussion board, or getting an A, 180 to 199, or a B, 160 to 179, or 140 to 159, which is basically like a C and below. And you can basically see what you're going to have to do to want to make sure you get those points as far as the effort you make in each discussion post. And do understand with those discussion board posts, when you do post your response by Wednesday of each week, it's expected that you're going to go back in there, whether it's stated here in this syllabus or not, to go back in there and actually respond to the people and saying, that's a good point, what about this? You bring up an interesting point about this. I've done that before too, but it has to be a question, not just a comment. And when you ask the question, it's expected you're going to give a little bit of thought into it too. My thinking is, what do you think? And so that people will respond to that. If they don't respond to you, that's not your responsibility. But your responsibility is to interact significantly with everyone. And honestly, isn't that the goal of the course in the first place? To really get as much as you can from everybody, not just the instructor, not just the textbook and the materials, but from each other, right? And then if you scroll a little farther down, you'll see the rubric for the papers. And you can see it's about 60% based on the content alone, 25% based on the amount of information. If you don't do it long enough, you're not going to, a long enough paper, you're not going to get that basic 1/4 of the grade. Got to put the effort in that regard and make sure you meet the basic criterion for how you write it, as far as 12-point times, New Roman, as far as the margins and those basic criteria. Don't miss that. And then, of course, your sources, which, by the way, I should mention, sources for your discussion board posts. It's very common when people write their discussion board posts, they fail to use any outside research. It's expected you're going to use at least one peer-reviewed research article, which means something from a specific journal, okay? Not just citing a textbook. And when you cite the textbook like Powers-Howley, if anything you cite is actually cited by Powers and Howley, as a specific study, and you just cited the textbook, that's going to have you losing points for the citation, which is going to take away about 10+% of your points just because you miscited that. You got to make sure you're clear about what you're citing. Okay, it's really not too difficult. It's got to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's, right? And then below that, you can see there's the breakdown for the total points over the course of the quarter. Okay. It really is not meant to be overly cumbersome. It's not meant to be overly challenging. It's meant to challenge you. It's a master's level course, but we want it to be fun. We want it to be enjoyable. If there's anything at all I can do for you in terms of putting your mind at ease about anything in the course, answering any specific questions about content, you're having challenges with anything, with time or whatever it is you're looking to do, email me, call me. We're here to help. That's what we do. As instructors, as professors, we want to be around to help you out in any way that we can. So please do let me know. I'm looking forward to spending the time with you, looking forward to any challenges we have, because that's how we get better. Please keep in touch. Please let me know how I can help you, and I'm looking forward to a great summer term. God bless.